It says I'm using computer audio. Do I need to turn that off?
Hey Dana, do you hear me?
Henry, could you go get some more antibiotics? We gotta get away from this Zoom.
Welcome. I don't hear you, but it's good to see you.
I can hear you, Judd. I was just muted.
Call Wayne McLean.
Which one?
That one.
Calling now.
Judd Hugh is checking in.
Welcome, sir. I'm Judd. Nice to meet you. Either way.
Fine with
Thank you,
shaking
sir.
hands.
Dallas? That's your name? Okay.
Okay, the call dropped off.
Dallas Pierce.
You
I'm here with Bill Martin.
Okay.
ready? 954. Okay. 003580867. And the code is 32624. Okay, thank you.
Don, can you hear Hugh?
Yeah, that's the microphone we're speaking into. You hear that?
Yeah.
Interesting to see. Does everybody know that's the microphone we're gonna be speaking into?
Yeah, I'll just go over there when I'm talking.
I guess it's been tested.
Or is it,
I can hear
is
you.
it good at picking up the entire room?
This microphone is
Okay.
picking up the whole.
Okay, so it's good,
It should be.
okay. If not, I'll just go, I'll go there a little closer if I need to.
Yep. I like that. And Bill, you have like 5 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we'll put you under public comments.
Very good.
So that's after I make my opening comments before I turn it over to John. And introduce yourself and tell us about yourself.
Sunny has two videos that we have here. There's one is a 2-minute video and the other is 46 seconds. And it explains probably 95% of me saying, hi, my name's Bill. That way everyone can see it. So,
We'll put her under public comments, is that right?
are you Miss Sunny?
Yeah, hi,
Hi, you got the video?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Like the 2-minute video first and then the 40-second.
You going up there?
2 and 4 seconds.
Hey, Mr.
Right.
Brown,
Thank you.
good to see
Do
you,
you
sir.
want,
You're right up here, sir. Well, that's, you're supposed to be
I'll
up
say
here.
a quick hello when he lets me.
And then we're gonna
Look
check,
into
we're gonna check.
RCPT and St. John for having us out, and I'll let you show those. And I'll do a quick 1-minute debrief on that.
Perfect. This is both muted. Do you want him to fill out a comment card, Joe? So we have his contact information? If you could fill out a comment card, they're the yellow there by the light switch.
Is this a trap?
Yes, sir.
No, I promise,
You
sir.
got that? I'll go this way. I'll trip over that coming back.
Well, you can go up that side and sit by Mr. Johnson.
I can't.
Good.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Sunny.
Yeah, well,
Hi, Chris.
exactly.
Senator, we got any more masks out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Might want to see if somebody wants, if somebody wants masks.
They're at the front desk.
I can get them,
Is this our?
I can get them. You go ahead and get your stuff ready.
In the left hand, right there.
So we're gonna wait another minute or two for Wayne and Melissa, okay?
This was sent to me. Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I may have to leave early.
thank you. Thank you for being here.
You want me to sit down there?
No, I would love you to sit there. Melissa's supposed to come too. And Wayne is gonna join us online, so we're waiting for them.
Judd Hugh is checking in.
City manager, is he coming?
I'm not sure who wants.
I think he's going to be zoomed in.
Okay.
Unless you, yeah, he's in his office, I think.
I just told him we said we can ready to start. And he said, okay.
Is he coming?
Hold on, he's talking to me.
He's in that age group, he wants to be careful.
He's talking to his chief.
I'm in the older end of that.
You worried now? You done got this far?
So all the people up there, we don't have pictures?
They have elected to not have their video on.
Yes.
And so if you're ready to turn on your video at this time, Judd,
Yes.
hit start video. And likewise for you, John.
Yes, I wish they would join us with the face. It would sure be nice. Hey, welcome, Melissa. Welcome, Mr. Mayor. Come on in. Melissa, you're supposed to be up here by this Mary Lawson Brown, if you don't mind. It's good to see you.
Yeah, she's still trip.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, you can have this seat if you want it, sir.
Mayor, come up here.
Or I
like this seat. It allows me to sneak up.
Good.
Judd, Hugh is checking in.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. I think we've got most everybody. I still don't see Wayne, and I believe Hugh is missing.
I'm here.
And that's it.
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes?
Oh, yeah.
It says Hugh's iPad.
Oh, good. All right, then we got everybody.
See that?
All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to each one of you. And we've already done the roll call. I think the next thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, August 5th, 2020. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes? Okay, do we have a second? A second. Is there any further discussion or any corrections? All in favor, say aye. And if you're online with us, maybe give us a thumbs up. All
Aye.
right, beautiful.
That was the September meeting. Correct that. September
Correct,
meeting.
yeah, September meeting, not August. Okay, and then I have a few comments just for a moment of inspiration. I wanted to thank each one of you for being with us today, and it's so nice to have Mr. Ken Johnson back after being out for a while. We've missed you. Mr. Holmes, welcome, sir. It's very nice that we have the privilege of serving our city and our commission, as well as the Putnam County and the North Florida aviation community. And in thinking of that, I had some words from Woodrow Wilson I'd like to share with you that I think are very appropriate to what we each do here in our service for one another. It says, "You are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand." And I thought those were very fitting words as I say thank you to each one of you for your service. And thank you, Commission, for the privilege of serving the city in this way. Okay, that being said, we go next to public comments, and we have some visitors, Bill Markham and Dallas Pierce. And we have two short videos to watch. Would you like to do that before you speak?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Great.
let's watch the videos and then we'll hear from them as they introduce themselves and tell us what they're about.
You want the lights out? You want the lights out? You want the lights out? I was asking Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not a part of the video, I'm not, I don't,
These are the two
No, I'm
gentlemen
not.
here.
I'm sorry.
You want the lights out?
It sure looks like it's.
Come the Screaming Eagle.
Round Canopy Parachute Team USA is proud to announce Operation Black Cat 4, 30 October through 1 November 2020 in Palatka, Florida.
From out of the skies over Vietnam come the Screaming Eagle, the heroic paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division. Their fabled exploits during World War II can never be forgotten.
RCPT USA will dedicate this event to recognize the contributions and sacrifices made by the brave men and women of the Vietnam era, capped off with a special evening with legendary Vietnam veteran and Hanoi Hilton POW, Bill Curry. Come celebrate the friendship and camaraderie of the Round Canopy Parachute Team USA, which will embrace the era of Tiger Stripe uniforms, including a full-size Vietnam-inspired fire base and watchtower, staged by a Vietnam veteran group, 1st Cav Sky Soldiers. The featured aircraft for Operation Black Cat 4 is an authentic Vietnam-era UH-1 Huey helicopter from Friends of Army Aviation. A full slate of training and exciting jump opportunities are planned from multiple aircraft for airborne qualified personnel, with a rare opportunity to earn foreign jump wings from Mexico and Greek jump masters. This event will culminate with an intentional water jump in the St. John River. Operation Black Cat 4 will host a packed guest list, including World War II veteran Jim Pee Wee Martin. Pee Wee will be on site to perform a tandem jump with Skydive Palatk's Art Schaefer after serving as an honorary jump master on his son's 5th and qualified jump to earn his RCPT USA jump wings. And meet and swap stories with the men of our sponsors, American Freedom Distillery, featured in the Hollywood movie 12 Strong, makers of Horse Soldier Bourbon. RCPT USA apparel sponsors Grunt Style will introduce you to Daniel Sharp, CEO of the Pop Smoke Podcast. Meet social media's angry cop Rich High, Range 15's Jack Mandeville, and Donnie O'Malley from Vet TV. Visit rcptusa.org to secure your place at Operation Black Cat before it sells out.
And I think there's one more.
There's one more, 46 seconds, yes, sir. Thank you, Ms. Sunny, for doing that.
Look at Wayne.
Wayne?
Well, that's a handsome guy. That's a handsome guy.
Yeah, there we go.
And I think there's one more.
Take 3, put your sound bar on.
My name is Bill Arcuri, and I'm really looking forward to this Black Cat 4. I was a prisoner of war in Vietnam, a B-52 co-pilot shot down and captured, spent 55 days there. I'm looking forward to doing a tandem jump. It'll be my first jump out of a plane since I ejected back in December 20th, 1972. Looking forward to seeing everyone in the drop zone, and later that evening, and I'll be a keynote speaker, and I'm just looking to come up and have a good time.
It's beautiful. So welcome again, Bill and Dallas. If y'all would like to come up here and speak, the microphone and camera's right there, and that's where they.
This is where we need to smile this way.
That's right, smile that way. And thank you for being here.
The mayor is still here.
I think,
Step in.
no.
Well, thank you guys for having us. My name is Bill Markham.
No, that's our city manager, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, sir, for having us out. John, thank you for having us out. You saw the quick videos. We are the Round Canopy Parachuting Team. My name is Bill Markham. This is Dallas Pierce. He's our public affairs officer. And we're just retired military guys that are paratroopers that now do things on the weekend right here in Putnam County. So if you guys have seen paratroopers or skydivers, that's us right down in Skydive Palatka. So our core team mission is that we honor the parachute legacy of where we came from, the World War II veterans. So from that, if you think about every conflict or war that's happened after that, there's been some form of paratrooper operation, right? So we do that right here at Skydive Palatka, K. Larkin Airfield, and we do it with Art Schaefer, Skydive Palatka. So just letting you guys know, when these events happen, they happen twice a year, we bring in probably between 150 to 300 people, including what the public brings in. So what does that mean to you guys and why I want you to know? They bring money, they spend their resources and time and energy here, they go to the hotels, they get rental cars, they buy gas, they go food. So just wanted you guys to know who we are. We're a small nonprofit organization. co-located at the airport, and I've talked to John almost every weekend. And so I'm just thankful that you invited me out, John, and I wanted you guys to know about us. Again, we're just here to say, hey, this is who we are. And we've got, as you saw, Bill Curry, a Vietnam veteran that was shot down with the B-52 as our guest speaker. So all of you are invited. We're trying to focus on our Vietnam veterans at this event, because we normally do a World War II theme. Again, those guys that came and gals that came back from Vietnam were spat on. We came back as heroes, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're going to wear a tiger stripe. We've got a Huey, as you saw in the video, and we're going to be jumping. So you guys are invited to come out, share the word, get the word out to the veterans, and just thank you. And I'll be glad to answer any questions. Or Dallas, did I miss anything?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah. So
Any questions? Well, thank you very, very much. And we're very proud to have you. And we'll make sure it's on Facebook, of course, for sure.
Bill, I didn't think one thing, a schedule of events. You said they're going to come in on
Yes,
Tuesday,
thank
Wednesday,
you.
Thursday.
So we start operations for the Jump Masters. We start on the 26th of October. Our students arrive on the 27th, and they'll be there through that entire weekend. But the main events start on Friday, October the 30th. Thank you. And Saturday will be our big day. That'll be the 31st, and that's when we have we'll culminate that evening with the guest speaker. You'll get to meet the horse soldiers. No joke. You see the movie 12 Strong? Mark Nooch and those guys, if you haven't seen that, it's a Hollywood movie, they're a part of our team. So we have a pretty star-studded cast with us, right? And then Sunday, we're doing that deliberate water jump into the St. Johns River. So again, a lot of people come from around the country, and if they could come around the world right now, it's a little bitty small town of Palatka. Okay. So any questions from anyone?
Mr. Chairman,
Clear
Mr. Chairman,
The city,
Mr. Chairman,
And what was that again?
you know, when we have stuff, do they have to clear it with,
Mr. Chairman,
our recreation guys and the police and stuff, make sure that they have.
can't hear.
Get in and out of the-
So I could probably answer that for you, ma'am. We filed an FAA NOTAM with the Federal Aviation Administration. We have a NOTAM that is filed all the time on site for us to do airborne operations. Does that answer your question?
We just have an event thing, I was looking at my city manager, have they done the event thing so that
I'm not aware, Commissioner, we have a special event ordinance, that if it meets certain, if your event meets certain criteria, numbers of people and so on, there's a requirement that have an application files with the city so that we can understand exactly what's being planned, whether there's a need for extra security or traffic control or any of those things. And then, of course, in today's world with the COVID deal, quite frankly, we haven't been granting any special event permits over
Mr.
the
Chairman,
time.
Mr. Chairman,
The commission will be
Mr.
asked to
Chairman,
decide where we are in that
Mr.
process.
Chairman,
So,
Chairman,
it's maybe something you could get with me about, give me a call after the fact, I can give you a card.
Mr. Chairman,
Sounds like you're talking about having from 350 up in your total number of people.
We could. Again, we have anywhere, like right now, we have
Mr.
67
Chairman.
paratroopers that have signed up. And it's an outdoor event. So we relook at the COVID threat, like you guys are possibly thinking about. We have our medical officer that is already.
Mr. Chairman.
Guidelines, and he is.
Hello.
I see you. I got you, Wayne. Just 1 minute.
Yes, so I will get with you.
hello,
Hey,
hello.
go ahead, Wayne.
We cannot hear a damn word being said. We can't hear anything. We've been trying to tell you for 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you, sir.
There's a voice of frustration there.
Wayne, nobody talking to. We don't want to know what you're saying, Wayne. Nobody's hearing anything.
Oh, she's not either, so nobody's hearing anything.
There's too much feedback, probably from all the unmuted microphones in one room. So all we're hearing is a bunch of noise, not words. So I think
Heard
that's the
absolutely
problem.
nothing said, nothing.
Nothing.
All right, I'm going to drop out. This is ridiculous. Goodbye.
Can I say something here? I don't want you to think that the city of Palaca doesn't want you, it's just that everybody else has to do it. And it'll help you with your traffic and your police and whatever you need when we have a crowd coming in.
Yes, ma'am, totally understand, thank you. And I'll get with this gentleman here.
If you would, please, and she's exactly correct. It's not that we're trying to be unfriendly. It's just that everybody in this world we're dealing with right now is trying to do what we can to minimize the health and safety risks. And so I would appreciate it if you'd, I'll leave you my card if you give me a call and let me talk to you a little bit about what you guys have planned. And then, you know, we can go from there, okay?
Sure. Good, anything else? Thank you for your time.
Yes, Diane?
Thank you, Chairman. I think what I heard is a lot of visitors coming to town, maybe October. I'd also like to reach out and let him know the chamber's here to help in any way we can for his event. If he wants to follow up a call or y'all want to get me his information. If I heard right, an event.
Yes, you did. Did you hear that, Bill? So the chamber said if you would reach out to them, they'd like to also help you and be part of your event.
Great, that's what I was.
So Dana Jones is her name in the chamber. Thank you, Dana.
We can do bags for visitors and all kinds of things. So have him reach out.
Can you hear us now?
It's a little clearer. Yes, sir.
Yes, she's up there. She's on the upper right-hand corner. All right, well, thank you all very, very much. We'll move on to 4A. John, we'll turn the meeting over to you for a monthly business report.
This briefing only goes through August, because it takes a little while. This meeting being on the first Wednesday of the month is normally not in sync with City Hall having the monthly numbers up to date so that I can brief you on September. So these numbers are going to represent August. The next meeting I'll have a briefing for September, which will be the whole fiscal year. Just keep that in mind. These are August numbers. Sir? But we are looking, we're looking good compared to last August, where we were last It's a standard move. PowerPoint presentation that I have been doing. And just remind everybody what I do here. We do three things to get revenue at the airport. We rent hangars, we sell fuel, and we sell pilot supplies, oil and trucks and stuff. Those are the three revenue streams, main revenue streams. This briefing represents is the money we take in from those three things, paying for the electricity bill, the water bill, the fuel, the money takes to buy the fuel, the wages of employees, and it's an operational budget. It does not touch on the airport improvement program grant money, and it does not incorporate the matching funds that the city puts up. Frankly, most of the projects we've been doing the last few years have been ready projects, which has not required a match from the city. We've been very fortunate in that regard. But I think there is one project that required $23,000. It's probably not included in this. Another thing that's not included is in the background. I'm not sure where the new Ford pickup truck falls in here. Anyway, again, keep it in mind, this is the operational budget and it's kind of separate from the airport improvement program budget. And next slide, please. We count takeoffs and landings as an operation. Last year, at this time, we had 20,336 takeoffs and landings. This year, with 1903, which is pretty good given what COVID has done. Our visitors are.
You are.
Yeah, I'm surprised to do that.
But most of our.
I'm sorry, Jesse.
Training.
Oh, no, I'm fine. No action, nothing to report yet. I'm still.
Next slide, please. That's not good, yeah. And are down a little bit on gallons. One of them, for both, one of them and jet, next line, 1,000 there, 3,000 there. But fortunately, that did not translate into lost profit because what happened with fuel halfway through the year when Saudi Arabia and Russia flooded the oil market, fuel prices were cut in half. Well, the area here, Northeast Florida and probably the country, did not necessarily reciprocate that one for one. We did not cut prices in half. We maintained a little bit. So we were able to take advantage of a little bit of the price, oil prices being cut in half. So our profits roughly, same, but a little better than last year, which we're fortunate. And don't forget, FAA, in an effort to offset this, left us with $30,000 worth of funding to help offset this. Next slide, please. And this is revenue from rent is up. And we've got quite a few more airplanes parked on the ramp, which is included, the tie-out fees are included in this. And we now have rented building W4. Next slide, please. When we combine that with fuel profit, this is what the numbers look like through August. We got a pretty big swing, as you can tell. Couple of things driving that. Last year at this time, the administrative fee that we give the city for helping us was $59,000. This year it's $46,000. So we gained $14,000 from the city not charging as much this year for that administrative fee. And through belt tightening and fuel sales, we wound up paying $100,000 less in fuel this year. And we wound up paying, we received about $100,000 less in revenue from that. But that's a pretty big disparity between the two revenues and expenditures. But also belt tightening. We had some serious belt tightening this year to help. I didn't go to advertising. Last year we traveled out to the conference. Didn't go there. Didn't go to a fuel training conference that I was supposed to go to. Saving a couple $1,000 for there, $1,000 for that. And just general belt tightening, we're able to do better than last year. And this does come off of the, hopefully it comes off of the debt service. But that is our operation budget. Next slide, please. Kind of speaks for itself. We recently made a payment in the fiscal year. 2 more payments. 3 more payments, sorry. Debt. Next slide, please. And these are the projects that are going on.
So number one, John, if I can ask a question, please, sir. So that's where the engineering for those apartments was all correct, and there wasn't anything wrong with them. You just had to clean the drain.
Well, and there were 4, what do you call them, underdrain pipes that were clogged. And we thought we were going to have to go back and get money to dig those pipes up and replace them with new pipes. Jonathan Griffith was in just a minute. I thank Jonathan Griffith for getting the vacuum truck and vacuuming those 4-inch pipes out. And lo and behold, the retention ponds had not started working. We vacuumed approximately half of those pipes out and it started working. So we're going to vacuum the other half out, and I think we're going to be able to avoid going back to the FAA and asking for an extra $35,000 to replace those pipes.
Right. So, but that has no effect on the engineering for the ponds. They were correct.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
Thank
you.
you. Do you remember that from the video? And the vault Number two, we've had no issues. That's
Now,
beautiful.
now with the ball, we've had some issues with lightning. Let me tell you about, next slide, please. Any questions on this one?
No, that's good, thank you.
Okay.
So Joe, I have another question.
Oh, yes.
Go back, the price, is that something that is like a normal thing to expect, like a routine maintenance item? I've never heard of that.
I think I told me one time, the pipes were every once in a while supposed to be vacuumed out when,
Yeah, and I mean, typically under drain systems like that, they would require some maintenance to prevent, get them unclogged and keep them functioning.
Is that an annual thing, every 5 years? Is it something that should be scheduled? And
I mean, maybe checked, every year. I don't know if you gotta actually clean them every couple years or every five years. I don't know what the standard would be on that, but checking them to make sure they're functioning, I guess, would be the main thing to know if you do need to do maintenance to them.
yeah, we redesigned, it used to be one retention pond, we put a taxiway between when we had to build another retention pond. This one was functioning when we built that one, it's not like this one held water and what we thought might happen, was the construction equipment may have collapsed the pipes. But I think that hasn't happened. But
so is
you're right,
that where we're arriving, is that resolved?
it will be some. Yeah, very pleased with how they're doing. Very nice surprise. There's another very nice surprise. It's the first time in 12 plus years out here, I've been able to write everything good. Everything good. So, we need some more buildings already.
Congratulations.
Next slide, please.
That looks good.
Pardon? Oh, okay. I'll speak up.
Brandon needs to take everybody to dinner, celebrate that.
I like that. That's a very good idea. I'll pay for dinner as long as you pay the bill.
Here's the lighting damage.
That hurts me deep. I sold beef, so it's gone. So I can't do you that.
Wait, you back up. Yes, please. We've had an unbelievable year in lightning. Just unbelievable, just relentless. I'm so sick of lightning. We've got these 5 insurance claims in on lightning in repair right now. We're replacing every inch of wire for taxiway Charlie, which goes from the vault all the way out to the south in the airport, the end of the departure in the runway 35 and back. 10,000 feet of wire so far. And it's a huge job. We're out working. The insurance adjuster came out yesterday, looked at everything, wheels in motion, and claiming on insurance. Kind of good.
Any type of prevention thing could be set up?
Anyhow,
Any type of prevention measure could be set up?
but you should ask, there are what do you call resistors or something that can be put in every 1,000 feet or 2,000 feet. Grounding rods and resistors that if we get hit with lightning again, it would just take out that 1,000 foot section instead of the entire.
Well, it's just a copper rod, 6 foot in the ground.
And
they're pretty easy to put in.
Well, those are out there. There is a counterpoise system,
Well, there is-
but what you're
it is
talking
ground
about
As much as it
is an
needs.
additional, it kind of puts it in sections, so if a certain section gets hit,
You
it
know,
only affects.
Okay.
I was very surprised to hear. I just talked to them about it again, that unfortunately, insurance will not pay to have those put in every ground. They're gonna let the wire get burned up again instead of paying for the resistor. I'm gonna price them out, and if it's a reasonable cost and we can afford it, I think we need to put them in, to, prevent this from happening again. So that's, each one of these,
They keep paying.
the top, I think I've got them written as they are, Melissa. Charlie, Alpha, Connector, and I think the AWAS will be tagged onto that top. But the other, put in 3 claims for damage to our gate access system. And, it's higher to put in insurance claims. And I actually went out and drove about 6 8-foot copper rods in, and attach them to the fence, and just anything and everything. You know, you can never stop lightning, you can only try to.
How much does it affect your night flight?
It didn't, we didn't lose any runway lights. Taxiway Charlie is no longer out of service, so it's actually a little bit slower, but no, we never had to shut down. And the retention pond is now working. The gratitude to John River who came up with that idea back in that out. That was great. And we hired another gentleman, put him to work for the day, and I think we scared him off. He went home and did some work and actually fell through his porch and hurt himself significantly and notified me back that I will not be doing injuries and reevaluating. I'm not going to be able to accept that job. So going out advertising, operations, and administrative assistant. Okay, I'll stop and breathe with Mike. Okay. Strange enough, I think I'm at the end of my briefing. Sorry, Logan, I will stop up and talk with you here before I leave here this afternoon. So that's in.
John, is that a full-time job that you're advertising?
It's part-time, 20 hours a week. And when we get to advertising, we can hopefully get a good replacement. We need a replacement, but really with 3 people, it's pretty rough going out there, just 3.
Thank you, John, very much. Is there any other questions? All right, then we'll move on. And Melissa, or Danny, you're still with us in yours? Yes, okay. All right, so 4B is to continue our discussion on rental rates. And yes, sir. Mr. Brown.
Get to that.
All right, well, why don't you-
Since we ended that part, we'd be talking. Maybe if it's pleasure of the board, I'd like to
come on
begin. Okay, all right. I went back and spent some time checking the hangar rates, availability, and all the things that have been talked about. And I can tell you, I was skeptical, but I found that for the most part, it was exactly the same, but it was that there is quite a waiting list everywhere, and that believe it or not, the waiting list in St. Augustine, of course it is St. They call it 7 years. Okay, I mean it's like crazy. I call around. Once everybody's had their say, I'd like to make a motion, but I won't do it. Well, I just want to verify that what you had said wasn't 100% right. It's pretty doggone good. You were low on some, a little bit high, but as a general, we could use a small rate increase. But after everybody said, I'll make a motion.
All right, beautiful. And I think also there was some comments made maybe by you, Melissa, on the last meeting that we discussed, would it be used for some improvements on some of the older hangars? And I think we've conceded that that's a very doable thing. Some improvements on the older hangars, Mr. McLean talked about the rust.
Terrible.
Yeah. So I think there's good cause for a rate increase. And I know that John and Logan and Mr. Holmes and Jonathan and I had a meeting this last week to discuss some more about that. And Mr. Holmes, I don't want to speak for him, but he's not here, is in favor of an increase to justify that. So maybe we can just go around, Melissa, where are you standing with that?
I'm in agreement that we do need to increase rates. I do think we need to build into a plan, routine maintenance and major maintenance. It doesn't sound like we've really gotten our arms around that. So I would be in favor of an increase and certainly some dedication for ongoing maintenance
Did everybody hear that? Can you hear us? You can? So,
I cannot hear Melissa.
Okay, I'll try to summarize. Melissa said that she's in favor of an increase, as long as there's a plan both for short-term and long-term maintenance to continue to improve the airport with some of the money that we gather from the increase. Can you hear that? Okay, beautiful. Hugh, are you with us? Okay. Yeah. So while we have you, Dana, would you like to give us your input?
Yeah, Hugh is here.
Okay, you want to go ahead since you're on the speaker and tell us?
Well, I'm kind of prejudiced because I rent a hangar. I don't want to increase my rent, but I understand what you're saying. I can see a case for a small increase if it goes into maintenance.
All right, thank you. And Dana, can you hear us? Or would you like to give us your comments, please?
I can hear little bits and pieces of what's being said. Does anybody know what if we raise the rates, about what that annual amount more we would receive would be? I know it's based on the final number, but has anybody took an average of what we've been suggesting?
60, how many do we have?
We have,
How many hangars?
72.
Small hangars. 70?
64.
64. Okay,
I wrote that down.
I got it. Okay.
I got a 5% increase will gain 10,000 a year, $25 each will gain 19,000 per year.
So if I heard correctly, John said somewhere between 1,900 to 5,000 a year, depending on what we choose.
No, Dana, a 5% increase would net a 10,000 a year increase, and a $25 per hangar increase would net roughly $19,000 per year.
so a $50 increase, then would be about $40,000 a year. So, I mean, that's somewhere in there, between the 5% and $50.
I was just trying to make sure there was actually enough money generated to actually do something meaningful toward maintenance. So I think that answers my question. And I think, like I heard someone say before me, I certainly think a slight increase looks like needs to happen on the T hangars to be competitive, which we already are, and to maybe capture some dollars for much needed maintenance.
Okay, and Ken, would you like to make your comments, please?
Oh, I will just agree with what's been said and keep it short and sweet. Do we not have input from Passero on this type of strategic visioning?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Okay. Part of engineering when it comes to rust, isn't
Can you take rust? Rust comment?
I think rust is called maintenance, and that's the problem.
FSU, they teach rust at FSU.
No, I'm taking any rust lessons at FSU.
Okay, so,
But while we're talking about that,
I thought it was already enforced, to be honest with you.
did I hear right at the meeting? That my plan was to purchase a lift and start attacking some of this with my staff. I think I heard from Mr. Holmes mention to you, your meeting, that I zoomed in on, that he didn't necessarily think that was the way to go, that it might be better to find an organization. Does anybody know of companies that can come out and bust the rust and paint?
I haven't spoken yet. There's a lift out there. There's a lift that stays parked a lot of times. City's got a lift.
The city's got a lift.
So they know more than we're going to pay.
But what happens, John, is we transport, we have to pay Johnson Towing to tow that out every time, and we'll get in the middle of it, because they'll need it somewhere else.
I get it.
But
You could to some. I don't want to get, that is not, I want to get my say on the other thing before we get into.
I mean, painting is not always a simple, a simple undertaking, when it comes to, engineering or architecture, a lot of times we actually hire architects to design specifications to coat buildings, there's all sorts of coatings and painting, what is appropriate.
The reason I entertain us doing it is we painted two rows of tea hangers, about 10 years ago. And it was done by an employee from Public Works, and he used that lift to do it. And he put also, he peeled the rust and painted it, and they came out pretty good. So we have done it with local employees. That I
Well, we can probably look at the process and time. And maybe what we should do is.
My bigger question is, are there companies that come out and grind the rust off and paint it, around the human?
Don't know about how much, but there are, so we have some good local companies.
Okay.
So, I think, yes, Mr. Brown? Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
I was just saying, am I there?
I think so.
I think that a reasonable increase is warranted. At the appropriate thing, I want to make a motion. Is this, am I the last one and I can make a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that we should increase the rental rates $25 a month per the tea hanger. And that money be set aside to do maintenance on the hangers. Whatever we get, we'll just use that to buy food. So my motion is to increase the rental rates by $25 a month only on the tea hanger.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second for discussion. Is there a recommendation from staff on rates?
Yes, $50.
And I think that's an important aspect of the conversation. Is there anybody available to talk about how they do for that?
Well, I think Mr. Holmes, and again, I'm sorry, I don't want to really talk for him. When we had our meeting, it was discussed that $50 would cover enough funds to, it would be about $40,000 a year rather than 22. If I'm remembering right, to give us enough money to make an impact on the maintenance that's needed, and still not put us in a number that's over being very competitive in our market. And John, has went through, and we do have a rate schedule for each hangar based on how much it costs to build them, the square feet, the amenities that they have, and the age of the hangar. So we have about 6 rates, so that would be an easy way to address each rate and give the city what they want. But again, the motion's for 25. If we want to amend that, we can do that if that's approved. If it's not, we can do it now.
I'd like to speak to the motion.
Yes, sir.
Everybody else first, and then since I made the motion, I'd like to speak to it.
All right, any other discussion you have?
Well, I think it's something that's been brought to the table, we wasn't considered before, we know that now. And, it is, you don't want to blast it out, I think that's bad PR. But, maybe you could do something for so many months, and then do the other a little bit later, to accomplish what the staff, we don't just need to be ignoring it,
right?
And, make it palatable. That's my comment.
Dana, do you have any comment?
I couldn't understand anything that was being discussed, so I don't know the difference between Browning's original motion of 25% increase and what y'all are talking about at the current time.
Okay, so I will tell you, David, Mr. Browning's motion was to raise it $25 a month for the T hangers. Melissa's second also included what was with discussion of what was staff's recommendation, which was $50. So $25 gives us about $22,000, and of course $50 gives us double that, which staff thought would give us more funds, enough funds to really make an impact, where the first one was enough. And then Mr. Johnson added that maybe we do it in 2 steps, if I understood him right, like 25 now and 25 in January, or something like that, to soften the impact to the tenants and not just blast them. And that's kind of where we're sitting. What is your comments?
Thank you, Judd. And I'm sorry you have to do all that for me. I really think during this weird pandemic year, to go all the way to 50 at once would be a huge mistake, since they haven't had a rate increase in a long time. So if we do the lower amount and kind of communicate, that, unfortunately the times are here where the airport's older and maintenance is needed. So we're going to be reviewing our rentals every X years for potential increases. So they understand, that we've got to adjust rent rates when we need to do things in the hangars.
Thank you. Do you have any input on that?
No, sir. No, I understand.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Brown.
I think that the $25 doesn't solve, I don't think the $50 solves the problem. In other words, you can make it $100 and you still aren't going to solve it. It's a major problem that is not going to be solved by the rental. Remember, the major rent comes in from the big hangar, which we're not even talking about raising. And I think that we do, like Dana has said, this is a bad time to do it's significant to some of these hangars now. You're talking about some of them are paying $200. What is it, 200? You got to go up $50. That's a lot going up. And others that pay $300, they're going to go up $50. It's not as bad. And I think $25 is what we had discussed last month. Look at the discussion. We had discussed $25. I did the research. I think $25 is a reasonable beginning. Now, and let's see how the money is spent. My question is not so much the rent. It's that I want to see that $25 we put up is actually being used and we're making improvements. If we're making improvements to the hangars, I think that the people that are in the hangars will be more anxious, like Dinah says, to pay more. If they see that this money they're putting out is going to it. So I stand by the motion. I think that we ought to do it 25. That's it.
Do you have any further discussion, Melissa?
I am still in support of the motion, but I would also echo Ken's concerns that we should revisit it quickly, because this is not enough money to do significant maintenance. It will help some, and that's better than nothing. And I do understand that these folks have not had a rent increase for a long, long time, but on the other side of the coin, they haven't had a rent increase for a long, long time. So I think the market bears the time, and the need indicates that it's time.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
I agree with what John is saying, but I think that, like Melissa said, we need to revisit this and not put it off. Okay? And I'm very surprised that we don't already have something in motion to keep up what we already have out there. That has to do with stewardship.
Yes, sir.
We don't deserve new growth, until we address stewardship.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, well, we have a motion and a second. I think we're ready to call for a vote. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, motion passed, motion carried. So thank you very, very much. I think that's a good accomplishment. And
I just hope we can get reports on where the money is spent.
And pictures,
And pictures.
before and after pictures.
Before and after pictures.
Yeah,
So
and we don't have to do them all, you know, you could borrow this thing and do 2 or 3 hangers. The whole hangers don't need to be painted. It's the trim that holds the doors, it's the trim that's going bad, whatever, I don't know why. But the trim wrap really is going bad, and they're going bad on the big hangers. So, Mr. Chairman, when we bring it back up, we're gonna have to look at the big hangers, because it's gonna take a lot more money to fix those than it is the little hangers. They're higher, they're bigger, and they're in pretty bad shape too.
Okay. Wow. We got 5 minutes. I can't believe that, Andrew. I'm so sorry. You drove down here to take care
And
of.
I'm leaving.
Man. Okay, motion carried. We'll have an update on this next meeting. And Andrew, you're up.
I gotta go.
I apologize sincerely.
No, first thing, I just want to make sure, Dana, can you hear me okay on this microphone? Wave, Dana, if you can hear me all right.
I
Okay,
can hear
you're
you.
nodding, okay.
Better than anybody else. Thank you.
Okay, well, I moved over here to the other side of the room, so.
Thank you.
So let me just say this, there is no need today to make any decision on the handout that I gave you. This is something that's just been recurring for the past few meetings while other important items were here. There is no decision imminent upon you. The intent was to get us together to look at the CIP, look at the projects that the FAA and the FDOT are planning to fund in the upcoming years, and just talk about them and make sure that they still represent what the airport and the airport board think are the most important projects. Judd, I can do it quickly. We can do it next month. As I said, there's no immediate need or decision to be made here today on what's here. The goal is to just have us get together and confirm this list of projects is what we want to have happen, what you want to have happen. So if you want me to do that in 5 minutes, I can do it, or I can do it next month for 20 minutes. And again, it's fine. You know us, we're always going to be here at the meeting listening. I don't know if we're going to do it justice if we do it in 5 minutes though.
Yes, you're right.
And again, it's just simply reconfirming, this is the list on the CIP, this is where the DOT has money set, this is where the FAA has money set, and do those reflect what we want? And we have no problem doing that 1 month from now, where we can really sit. It's going to be the same handout. I'm not going to get out my red marker again, as Ken was telling me, where'd this red marker come from? But again, we can do the handout next month, and we're good with that. But nothing needs to be done today. So.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
One thing that may be helpful too, DOT is looking right now at any added projects. The deadline will be like November 15th, and then it gets approved in January for the new project. So it'll give us the next couple of weeks to try to put in and gain some new projects for next month's meeting too. That'd be good.
Kyle, do you want to add anything to that? What John Browning just mentioned about, I think he's referring to the outer year of the 6-year program.
Andrew, I had a very hard time hearing. Let me turn on my video camera. I'm sorry. I had a very hard time hearing. So could you repeat the question?
I just want to confirm, Mr. Browning was just mentioning that the DOT is considering, updating their funding program. And I
They're
think
doing it right now, and any new suggestions that the city wants to put in, they need to get them in within the next 2 weeks.
And
That's
Kyle,
new projection, whether you want to try to get the money now, but money may be short this year, but this can be year 6.
right.
But we do it that far in advance. So I think in the next 2 weeks, the city needs to come up, maybe work with Andrew, do projects that we want. We've got to get them in the system. If we don't get them in now, we're going to approve in January, and that's it until this time next year. So we can, doesn't mean they'll pass them, but we ought to get them in.
And Kyle, are we referring to the new 6-year of the work program?
Yeah, Andrew, it sounds like y'all are coming in and out a little bit, but this, our typical work program cycle, as you know, starts, we used to go and meet with airports. And I think we met with Palatka in either February or March of last year. And I'm sorry, of this year, when we kind of got your wants and needs, and we talked about that 6th year, which is our fiscal year 2026. And I think in that fiscal year, you guys requested to push out an existing project which was a runway 927 extension. And then I think we also added the environmental assessment for that extension in your 2026 planning.
That's actually on the bottom of the handout that you have today.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to add a big hangar, if you don't mind adding.
Yes,
that.
sir.
I'd like to add on our request, a big hangar. Okay. The DOT, you put it wherever you want to. Just get it in the request. Big hangar. And, we may get the money.
And again, if that's the case, we can add that project to the JSIP.
To the end. We're not talking about taking away
Right.
from any.
Yeah, we're not taking any other project away. We can add a new project for that. And again, how the DOT responds to that request, that's up
One
to.
that'll hold a big jet.
Big jet.
Yeah, we can easily do that and talk about that next month and update this list.
Did y'all hear that? All right, good. So we will do that on our next meeting. And I'd like to make one more comment, and if y'all want to echo any comments in addition, I welcome them, of course. But Andrew, thank you. When I had the privilege of meeting with Mr. Holmes last week, it took my mind back a lot to where we've come from in the last 5 years, 10 years, whatever number you want to pick. It's huge. And thank you to you, Kyle, and of course, Mr. Evans, and the whole staff there for what you've committed to our little airport, our little community. And Andrew, thank you for all that you've done. It's just huge. And being able to coordinate all these things and put them together. And of course, you, Matt, too, are part of that. I'm sorry. But it's very much appreciated because our city is so much better off than we ever have been with zero funds in from us, basically. So thank you.
Thank you, Judd. And I'll just note that from the aviation system perspective, you're definitely not a little airport. You are a really nice, sizable airport with 75 based aircraft and a 6,000-foot runway capable of accommodating the biggest business jets in the world. And I just want to, bring that up. You're not a little airport. You're definitely a solid regional airport. It's a really good facility. It is.
Thank you so much, Andrew. All right, any other comments before we adjourn?
I had another question.
Yes.
That relates back to our past discussion, and that was, we talked about submitting a major maintenance project to DOT. And I think you and I have thought to do some research or whether that was possible, and that would include things like the door mechanisms that I hear that people aren't easy to operate and things of that nature.
Well, Kyle can perhaps chime in a little bit after I do. And again, he looks at the eligibility of what is submitted in the JSIP. It's our understanding that a project request that is considered a rehabilitation of a component that's not related to regular maintenance is an eligible item for both the FAA or the DOT, depending on the facility. For example, when we fix an airfield pavement on a runway or taxiway, we can either do a mill and overlay or a full depth reconstruction, a major project, but we can't go out and just do a little crack seal or a type of thing that is, fill a crack because that's regular maintenance. That's from the FAA perspective. From the DOT perspective on a hangar, for example, if you needed to replace a roof system, okay, the roof was 20 or 30 years old and exceeded its useful life, you could actually get DOT funds, if you requested it, to replace a roof system. But you couldn't paint the roof, you couldn't paint a door, you couldn't do a minor maintenance that they would consider annual maintenance, which painting falls in.
Yes.
But if it's a rehabilitation of something, if there was a structural failure on something like that, that was a long-term rehabilitation issue, it's eligible. Now, Kyle, if you want to chime in on that, if you can.
Yeah, Andrew, I couldn't hear the question, but based off the summary, I think I understand it as it related to kind of the gray area between what's a maintenance issue and what's a rehabilitation issue. So from our perspective, and I certainly realize that's not a black and white issue. There's definitely some gray there. But if you have a component of a piece of infrastructure that's reached its end of its useful life, then yes, we would definitely participate in fixing it. And I think the example of a roof on a hangar, the rest of the hangar's in good condition, but it needs a new roof. The roof is truly at the end of its useful life. That is a project we would participate in. But if it's, like you say, replacing doors, light fixtures, paint, that's a maintenance item, and that is not something we would generally participate in.
Very good. Thank you, Kyle, very much. Is there any other comments? Did that answer you? Okay, any other things?
The only comment that I would make, Judd, is make sure in our communication, you have the staff recommending so-and-so, and you have the advisory board, which we are an advisory board, waiting on the city council to do what they're gonna do. And we wanna make sure, that there's no conflict there. We didn't disagree with that. We said go slow.
That's right.
Okay?
Go slow. That's beautiful.
All right, like Bob had from this earlier, cut you off. That I think so fast. Forget what it was that, talked over you there, so sorry.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much, everybody. We'll stand adjourned for our next meeting, the first Wednesday in November. Thank you very much, and everybody be safe. Bye-bye.
Appreciate Sonny putting up with all this.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.